Aloha, shining ones! Welcome, Magic Tribe. Thank you for watching the replay. Instagram is letting y'all know that I'm here. We're gonna be doing our third mini astrology class. Aloha, Jessica. Hello, Empath Warrior. Good to see you, sister. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Yay! Hi. Okay. Hello. Hello, Snakeskin Jacket. Hello, Hilly. Hello, Clarity. Hello, Capricorn. Hello, hello. Hello, Earth Empowered. Welcome, friends. Welcome, Shining Ones. So glad to be here with you all today. Okay, so are you guys ready for another mini astrology session? Hi, Anna. Oh, yay, we get to hang out now, and then we get to hang out for our leadership class. Yay! All of the things. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, my love. So today, we're going to see if we can talk about two things. Because I really want to talk about the moon sign and mental health, especially around the holiday time, how it's so important for us to take care of our moon signs. So why don't we all start out by finding the emoji that matches your moon sign and typing it into the comments. Hello, Kaden. Hello, sister. Hi, Indigo Witch. So good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I've been loving your astrology post. There's a Leo moon. Yeah, you can find the little animal too, or you can find the little glyph. We've got a Libra moon, Aquarius moon. If you're just coming in, find the emoji that represents your moon sign and type it into the comments so we can all see who's here and their moon signs. Hi, Katie. What's your moon sign, Katie? Hello. What's your moon sign? Tell me. So I'm a Leo moon. So there was another Leo moon here too. Okay, so we have Virgo moon. All the moon signs chiming in. Okay, so for those of you who may not know your moon sign, I just want to reiterate, hi, Tanya. Tanya, what's your moon sign? Tell us. We're having a moon sign class. And then we're going to have, so the first part of the class is going to be about moon signs and mental health. And I'm going to probably go quickly because there's a lot of information that I want to share with you. And then I want to talk about how you can find places in your chart that can support your long-term success and achievement, right? Because it's all coming in right now. Okay, Virgo moon, of course, priestess sister. Yes. Okay, so if you don't know your moon sign, you can go to astro.com and you can put in your birth date, time and place, Libra moon, and you can get your chart for free when you go to astro.com, putting in your birth date, time and place. And it will pull up your chart. And if you're not sure of your birth time, you can go back and watch the Insta TV and Insta story that I did 2 times ago, where I shared about the rising sign and what to do if you don't know your rising sign, you don't know your birth time, because your rising sign comes from your birth time. So we have Cancer and Sagittarius Moon. Yes. Okay, so the moon sign. Okay, so I'll just also say it like I am going to be using this app as our sample chart. And so this app is for all Apple products. They actually don't make for Android, but I have a solution for you if you are on Android. So you can get this chart that I am using here. I might have to close my curtains again. So it's ephemeris.com. I think that might be backwards for you guys, but I'll close this. we can get not so much reflection. Okay, so you have your sun sign, you have your rising sign, and then you have your moon sign. So your moon sign is one of my favorite signs, one of my favorite placements in the chart. And so the moon sign, so the way that these three signs kind of work is that you have your rising sign. They're like layers into your personality, into your psyche. So the rising sign is the first layer that people see and encounter and that you feel comfortable sharing when you first meet someone new. And so we did a whole class on the rising sign. And then we're going into the sun sign after that. So when you first meet people, yes, it's astro.com. When you first meet people, they experience your rising sign. Then you pull it. Then once you are hanging out with them a little bit more, you feel a little bit more comfortable, then you'll show your sun sign. You'll shine your light with them. And then when you feel really comfortable with them, you pull it in even further, and then you reveal your moon sign, which is kind of like this like deeper inner part of your psyche, of your personality. And so that being said, like the moon the moon itself is symbolic of our emotions, of our physical body. It's symbolic of our mothers. You can actually learn a lot about your mom from your moon sign. The moon sign is also symbolizing, the moon is connected to the past. And because the moon like keeps the records, like first quarter moons, full moon, second quarter moon, all of this stuff. The moon is like cataloging the records. And so it's really this like deeper part of ourselves. And so it's really interesting when you know your moon sign and then you see someone else out there in the world with your moon sign as their sun sign or as their rising sign, but even more specifically as their sun sign. You see them out there in the world doing and embodying and shining their light as this archetypal energy of whatever sign your moon is. We'll get into that in a minute. And you're kind of like, wow, I want to do that. But because there's this like inner part of yourself that it's kind of like we know deep inside of us, but we often don't allow ourselves to express outwards, or we feel kind of self-conscious about that, right? It's kind of like the crab, right? The crab is the symbol for Cancer, and it's also connected to the moon because Cancer is ruled by the moon. And so the crab is like, like I'm gonna get you, but it's like I have this hard shell, but deep inside it's this like soft little creature. And so like that's kind of how our moon sign functions. And so in that, like when you are seeing someone out there in the world who has your moon sign as your sun sign, and you're kind of like, wow, like they're totally doing all these things that I want to be doing, and like they look so amazing doing that, and I want to do that, but I don't know how. And so that is why it's so important for us to know our moon signs, to know the attributes and characteristics of the moon signs, and to give those things to ourselves, right? To nurture ourselves. The moon is connected to nurturing. And so the moon is also how we feel safe, which is a big key part. So whatever sign and house your moon is in, that will give you clues as to what it is that makes you feel safe on a subconscious level. And this is why it's so important for us to know our moon signs, know the houses that they're in, know the characteristics and attributes of those signs and houses, and then to be able to give ourselves, to embody, to enact, to enable ourselves to personify and embody all of those frequencies of the moon sign that is ours, so that we can feel safe with ourselves. And so we're not looking to other people and being like, why aren't you more organized? Like, I feel so unsafe. You know, it's a subconscious thing. You might not actually know that this is why you feel unsafe with this person, but you're like, I feel so unsafe because they're not organized and I feel like they're not in control. They don't know what's going on, and so I don't trust them. And so like this is like an example of someone who might have a Virgo moon, because I saw Tanya was saying that, and I know she has a Virgo moon. And so there are shadow sides of all of the signs, and then there are illuminated or empowered aspects of all of the signs, or attributes of all of the signs. So it's really important to know those in general. It's really important to know the shadow and the light of all of the different manifestations of all of the 12 signs. And in, you know, classical astrology, there's the 13th sign and all of that, but which we do get into in Astro Empowerment. So for example, if you have an Aries moon, we'll just go through the signs, okay? So if you have an Aries moon, it's really important for you to know and acknowledge that, like, so let's just talk about shadow and light characteristics of Aries in general, right? Okay, so shadow sides of Aries would be like aggression, you know, wanting to start a fight, just like picking at something, you know, or being like overbearing or domineering, or just like this like Martian masculine energy that's like kind of abrupt, kind of aggressive, kind of like rubbing people the wrong way, and it's like, you know, just kind of overwhelming. And so then the illuminated side of Aries is that divine will, right? Aries is connected to our personal will in the world and how we take action, how we find inspiration, how we find motivation, our drive, our energy, like our life force, which can also be the sun. But and this is all super, super simplified. Like when I teach about all the signs and all of this whole situation in the Astro Empowerment course, it's like way, 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 way longer. So I'm trying to just like so Aries illuminated is inspiration, motivation, passion, drive, ambition, action oriented, really, like, you know, I feel like Aries is kind of like a herding dog, you know, where it's like, whether it's an Australian Shepherd or a Border Collie or whatever, a blue heeler, where it's like the Aries energy needs to have a job to do. And when it knows its job and it is clear about the directive and it is inspired to take that action, it does it. And it's like, you know, and things are happening. It's the divine masculine, which brings forth the manifestation of the divine feminine vision. And so if you have an Aries moon, it's really important for you to take responsibility for your own inspiration, motivation, passion, drive. It's important for you to work out. It's important for you to move your body. Aries is all about movement and being in the physical form. And so you might find that if you have an Aries moon, you're one of these people who is like, I feel better when I work out. I feel like I think better. I feel like I'm a nicer person when I work out. And it can be all kinds of working out, you know, but so if you have an Aries moon, you have to take responsibility for giving yourself all of everything that you need in order to enact the illuminated side of the Aries archetype. And so that can even be like arranging for things in your life so that you can express motivation, express determination, express action, express your fire nature, like in arranging for circumstances so that you can act out that experience. And so this is kind of going back to the reason that it's so important for us to know and take responsibility for our moon signs and give ourselves what we need to feel safe, because if we don't, then we step into that shadow. Then we step into that that negative, or that unproductive. We'll call it unproductive. If we're unaware of our moon signs and we're expecting everybody else to make us feel safe, and then we're getting mad at them because they're not doing what our psyches need, then we act out the shadow. And so for someone who's Aries Moon, then they might be aggressive. Then they might, start fights just to start fights. It's like they might be, if they're not taking care of their emotions, they might be over exercising and hurt themselves. And so it's just kind of taking that masculine energy over the top. And so just to bring this home, it's like about why this is so important. I have actually witnessed this, and why this is so important for me personally too. So I've actually witnessed, I have a Leo moon, and I've actually witnessed someone else who also has a Leo moon. And so we'll talk about all of the attributes of Leo when we go through all the signs. But so very quickly, one of the attributes of Leo is being in the center stage. It's like being in the spotlight, being on Instagram Live. And, right, Tanya? It's like Leo's your sun. So it's like shining your light, being the center of attention, embodying the queen codes, and having this sense of like worthiness. The sun's all about our self-confidence, and the sun is what rules Leo. And then when it's in its shadow, it can be arrogant, and it can be dramatic and like over the top, like just creating drama. And so in this scenario, I saw this other person who has also a Leo moon. And thanks. I'm going to totally go back through all of your comments and go through the things at the end. So thank you for typing in your comments. I am seeing them. So this person was telling me, I'm so excited. I really want to film all of this content. I've blocked out this time in my calendar. I've got all this equipment, and I want to share my message. I want to film these videos, and I want to be seen. I was like, I want to do this stuff so that I can be seen. And I was like, awesome. Like, that sounds fantastic. Like fellow Leo moon, like, yes, do that. And so they ended up not doing that. Life happened, and like that didn't happen. And then there was all of this drama that came into their lives, where there was like this relationship, they had a breakup, and there was all of this drama and fighting, and the police were involved, and it was just like, whoa. And so this is the key point. The attribute of the Leo moon was wanting, of this person's Leo moon, this deep inner psyche part of themselves, was wanting and asking to be seen, was wanting to be in the spotlight, was wanting to be the center of attention, because that is what Leo wants, right? That's not selfish. That's not, something that's inappropriate. That is what the Leo archetype wants. But when the Leo archetype in this person didn't receive that, then it kind of went into like, toddler tantrum, and started like, no, like, I want to be the center of attention. I thought we were going to film things. I thought I was going to be able to shine my light, and now I'm not getting to do that. And so it fabricated on a subconscious level. I'm sure they had no idea this was going on, but this person fabricated this super dramatic situation, and they were the center of attention. There were a lot of people who were looking at them, talking about them. Like, it was kind of like, whoa, like, you got the spotlight, but maybe it was not in the best way. That could have been avoided had they known, is why I'm teaching this, had they known how important that was to serve their Leo moon, to nurture their Leo moon, and to provide them that experience for themselves of being in the spotlight. So does that make sense? How it can like backfire if you don't give your deep psyche what it needs, it can backfire, have a tantrum, and get what it needs anyway, but kind of to your disadvantage. Okay, give me hearts if that makes sense. Okay, so moving on to So we talked about Aries. So then if you have a Taurus moon, this is totally like a bunch of free information, you guys. So if you have a Taurus moon, Taurus is all about what's valuable, what's important, like, you know, sumptuous, like Taurus is in the body, you know, Taurus is like the earth sign. It's like one of the earth signs, and it's just like, yes, like let's be in the body, let's have the textures and the tastes and the scents and the smells and all of the tactile things. Like, let's really dive in, like what, and asks like, what is important, what's important to us. And in its shadow phase, Taurus it's the bull, right? It's stubborn. And it's like, nope, I'm not moving. I'm not going to come into, but yes, I'll save this life. And you'll totally get all of this and way more, deeper dive in Astro Empowerment. Talk about all of this in Astro Empowerment, which is my course, which is open now. And it's closing tomorrow. You know what to do. So in its shadow phase, Taurus is, it's stubborn and it's unbudging, it's unmoving, it wants things to, it's that, right? It's the earth sign in its shadow phase. So it's like, I am gonna grip, I'm gonna hold on, and I'm not gonna move. And so it's really important for people with Taurus moons to give themselves that like yummy, beautiful, like tactile, sensual experience, and to also be really aware of what they value and what's important to them. Those things go hand in hand. And so, you know, if that's really good food, if that's getting massages, it's like, if you have a Leo moon, it's actually for your mental health, for you to get a massage. Like, you just have that, you know, that's for you. Not everybody like has to do that, but for you, it's not a luxury, it's actually a requirement. So then if you're Gemini moon, right? Gemini is the twins. It's air sign ruled by Mercury. And so my favorite way of explaining Gemini is that it's like a set of twins, two people who are twins, who are in a library, who are tearing around the library, and they're finding different books, and they're climbing up on the shelves, and they're telling each other what they learn. They're like, did you find out about this? I have this paper. Did you do this? And so it's this whole like interchange of rapid fire information that's being received and shared, being received and shared and received and shared. Gemini also has this kind of merchant quality where it's like, I get something from somewhere and then I give it somewhere else. And so it's kind of like, this game of telephone. And so in its shadow phase, Gemini, it can be mentally overstimulating, right? Like overthinking things. Like you can get into that analysis paralysis where it's just like the mental mind becomes so consumed by all the details that nothing gets done, and you're just like mentally like working through so many things. And so then you might project that onto other people. You might be like, why are you so incompetent? It's like, why can't you figure this out? Because the mind is like in its shadow. So it's really important for Gemini moons to allow themselves time to be intellectually stimulated and to communicate about that. So someone who has Gemini moon, they get carte blanche to like read all of the articles, listen to all of the podcasts, like all of the communication and learning. Like that is how they take care of themselves. And so if your partner is a Gemini moon and they're just scrolling and they're like reading all of these things on Huffington Post and all this stuff, you're like, great, awesome, thank you so much for taking care of yourself. So this is really all about giving yourself permission to do what it is that really nurtures you. So I'm gonna have to go quicker now since we're going through all the signs. So then we have Cancer, right? So Cancer is like all about, it is the moon. Cancer is ruled by the moon. And so being by water, being by the ocean, going to the spa, cooking yummy food for other people. Like, that's a big thing. Taking care of animals. It's like nurturing something, having kids, like taking care of your kids, babysitting, doing things, volunteering for, you know, at a shelter where you can take care of children. It's like, it's really giving yourself full permission to be in that like nurturing space for yourself and for others. If it's really tuning into you, it can manifest many different ways, but it's kind of like, so, and then if it's in its shadow phase, then it's kind of like the over giving, right? It becomes the martyr. The Cancer Moon will go into the martyr phase when it's in its shadow. And so then it's taking care of everybody else, but not it. This is a kind of similar situation with Libra, but a little bit different. And totally, again, this is like super succinct. This is definitely not the entire explanation. I'm so clear on that. If you want the entire explanation of all of this, join us for Astro Empowerment. So if you have a Cancer Moon, it's really important for you to, like, maybe it is that you need to go to the spa once a month or something, or you need to go to the ocean. It's not actually like a vacation that's over the top. It's like you need to go to the ocean in order to feel better. And so go do that. Like, that is what you need. Go do that. Don't tell yourself the story that you can't have that because it's whatever kind of story you want to tell yourself, but that is actually what you need. And I really encourage you guys, for whatever your moon sign is, look up that sign. Like, you know, what is it about Cancer? What is it about, you know, Gemini, all this stuff. Read it in 5 different places. And then make your own soup of what feels good for you. Don't just take anything that anybody says, even what I say, at like face value. So then if you have a Leo moon, we talked about that. So, right, Leo moon, it's really, really important for those of us who have Leo moon to give ourselves, it feels uncomfortable. Like, this is the thing with the moon sign, is that it's not the thing that that's the first thing that you want to do, because it's a deep part of your psyche. So you're not like, yes, please let me take the center stage and be the queen and like shine my light. And, you know, it's like, it's not that easy. But if someone asks you, if someone says, would you like to do this, then you're more apt to do it. But you just have to know that, like, the Leo archetype is being the queen, being the playful child, being around children, perhaps, being creative. And being in the spotlight. And so, and in its shadow phase, right, it turns into arrogance, it turns into the child who's having a tantrum. It's very dramatic and over the top, and everything is extreme, and it's just like getting attention in a negative way. So if you have a Leo moon, you need to have, we're gonna do yours next, you need to have those days where you're just in your art supplies and you're creating things. You know, whether that's on the internet or in the physical sense, or giving yourself, like, going on Instagram Live, like putting yourself in the spotlight, even though it feels comfortable, because you know that that is actually what makes you feel safe. It's like actually nurturing your moon to do these things. And so, because, right, that's when you see the person who has your moon sign as their sun sign, and you're like, oh, I want to do that. But you have to give this to yourself. You have to give these things to yourself. In order for you to be a sane person, for you to feel safe in the world and not to project your lack of feeling safe onto other people and blame other people for your not feeling safe because you're not giving yourself what you need. This is what we're talking about. So Virgo Moon. Virgo Moon is next. So Virgo Moon, I love Virgos because it's like, or Virgo energy, because Virgo energy, it's like Virgo energy, people with a lot of Virgo in their chart, sun, moon, rising, midheaven, whatever, they have almost like these like special glasses, this like special lens that they see the world through. And what they see through this special lens is all of the patterns. They see all of the patterns. And so if you want somebody to proofread something that your blog post or your email or whatever you do, get somebody with a lot of Virgo energy, because they don't even read it. It's like the misspelled words and the improper punctuation, just like they just see it. And so these people are also like master diagnosticians, like herbalists and healers, because they just look at somebody and they're like, this is off, that's off, like, and so yeah, you're like that too, right? So in its shadow phase, Virgo is critical, right? Because you see everything that's wrong if you look at it that way. So, you know, that can be like, you're like, look at what I did, look at what I did. And your Virgo person looks at it and they're like, you misspelled this is wrong, do you really want to say that? And you're like, so Virgo, or Virgo in its shadow is kind of like consumingly self-critical. Like, I don't have enough experience. I have 52 certifications on my wall, but I don't have enough experience. I don't know enough. I don't feel ready to share my stuff. So the illuminated side of Virgo is that connection to the patterns. And I'm so glad this is making so much sense for everybody. So, learning to be connected to the patterns. This is all, the other thing is that it's not just like patterns like words on a page, but it's the patterns of nature, right? Virgo's an earth sign. It's really, really tapped into the rhythms and the cycles of the moon, the rhythms and the cycles of the seasons, like the ebb and flow of the energy in the earth and in the sky, and how it all flows and works together. And so gardening is an amazing thing for all Virgo moons. Or it's like, if you have if it's too cold for you to be gardening now, get some orchids. Orchids thrive inside, and you're like, and they require a lot of attention. There's a lot of patterns that they need to go through. And so it's like, or you know, keep a moon journal and keep track of, if you're a woman, your own moon cycle connected to the cycles of the moon. But it's like doing whatever, if you have a Virgo moon, doing something that connects you to the rhythms and patterns of yourself and of the world. That will make you feel so much safer. And then you will not be like, you're doing that wrong and you're doing that wrong, and why did you do this? And everyone will be like, oh, you know, it's like, you'll just be a much nicer person if you give this to yourself. Okay, Libra. So Libra, air sign ruled by Venus. Libra archetype is the ambassador. It's the peacekeeper. Libra is all about balance and harmony. And similar to Cancer, in its shadow phase, Libra can be too distant, right? Like, it's like, as an ambassador, as a peacekeeper, I'm not involved in like what is going on. But it's, you know, there's a little bit of an aloofness that can come through in shadow Libra. And so good, Tanya. So, and also too, same with Cancer, right? That Libra in its shadow is the martyr. It's people pleasing. And it's like the scales are unbalanced because you're taking care of so many other people, and you're really putting everyone else's harmony and well-being and peace before your own inner peace. And so, so if you are a Libra moon, it's really important for you to maybe like do relationship workshops, or to read about relationships, to understand the balancing of energies in relationships. For Libra moon, it's really important also to be the ambassador for something, probably something beautiful, to be a representative of something, and to what else? And I'm just telling you guys things if you want to have other things you want to share too. So yes, like, stop putting others' needs before your own well-being. So and Libra, one of the things, I have a dear friend who has a lot of Libra in her chart, and one of her favorite things to do is to like have people over or have a dinner party or go out to dinner, and there are people who don't know each other and she connects them. So seeing the relationships between people, and just seeing the relationships between things in general, like that's an important part of Libra as well, is like understanding the relationships. So, you know, maybe it's that you give yourself permission to listen to all of the podcasts on codependent relationships, and you learn about relationships, you understand dynamics. There's so many different ways that it can show up. Yes, you love to connect people. No, Scorpio Moon is coming next. So Scorpio Moon. Yeah, matchmaking, right? whether it's romantic or just friends, right? That's a Libra. So then if you have Scorpio Moon, right? Okay, so Scorpio Moon ruled by Pluto, all about power, all about shadows, all about things that are unspoken, that are hidden. And so shadow Scorpio is manipulative. Shadow Scorpio is like trying to control situations. It's like power struggles. So if you are a Scorpio Moon and you notice yourself having power struggles with people, it is time for you to dive into your own shadow work, or it can be, you know, perhaps you need to, you know, do some sexual self-care, because Pluto, the way that I love how Carolyn Miss describes the sacral chakra, because I feel like that's so much of how Scorpio energy works and Plutonic energy works. And so the way that she describes the sacral chakra is sex, money, and the need to control or be controlled. That's the biggest piece, the need to control or be controlled. And we use sex and money to do that. So if you're Scorpio Moon, looking at how can you work on your own abundance codes? How can you work on your own prosperity? What can you do to give yourself more money? How can you give yourself better sexual pleasure? You don't have to have a partner, you know, it's like there's a lot of sexual self-care work out there. But it's like, and this also includes, Scorpio energy also includes all of the unspoken, unseen, hidden things, right? Like all of the esoteric mystery schools, that is all governed by Scorpio too. So perhaps it's like time for you to like buy a copy of the Kabbalion and like go into all of the Hermetic teachings, you know. Perhaps it's time for you to get a tarot deck. Perhaps it's time for you to study astrology, because astrology is all about like the deep subconscious work. It can also be going to therapy, you know, like sometimes that's what Scorpio Moon needs, is that it's a mental health thing for them. It's not because like they have something going on, because it's like they just need to talk about the deep inner workings of the psyche. And having someone who is well versed in that, or having like a psychologist friend or something. Okay, so then we go into Sagittarius. So Sagittarius Moon, if you have, so Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, biggest planet in our solar system, and so Sagittarius is all about philosophy, adventure, learning, new experiences, the distant horizon, you know, like the overview, the expanded view. And so it's, you know, it's all about learning about world religions. It's learning how to speak other languages. And so, so if you have a Scorpio Moon, the red flag, or sorry, if you have a Sagittarius Moon, the red flags for you that like you need to take care of yourself would be, you notice that you're becoming dogmatic. That's kind of like a classical shadow Sagittarius, where you're just like, this is my belief system, this is the way that it is, I'm not open to understanding anything else, because it has this kind of gripping energy. And so if you have, if you look up, I do want you guys to look up whatever your moon sign is, and look up, you know, shadow frequencies for whatever that is, shadow Sagittarius frequencies. There's an amazing book that is in the resources section on my website that I love. It's in my office. I'm not going to grab it, but it's called The Codex of the Soul, and that is, you can get the link on my resources page on my website, which is on the link in my bio. So if you have Sagittarius Moon, it is important for you to go on adventures. whether that is like out in nature or that is through a philosophical conversation about foreign lands. It's important for you to learn things like philosophy, to expand your understanding. It's important for you to teach. I have a Sagittarius rising myself, and so taking care of yourself as a Sagittarius moon might involve you coming to the place where you're like, okay, like I'm ready to teach something now. And that might be the scariest thing that you can do. But once you get into that flow, like, you know, like I do, it's just like, the information just like, it comes through you. And like, then you feel so good. And then you've done something good to take care of your moon sign. You feel safe. Okay. Capricorn moons. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's an earth sign, cardinal earth. And so Capricorn is the symbol of the goat fish. I love Capricorn because I'm a Capricorn, but I also love it because it's this super kind of like third dimensional sign, you know, like the goat is like, it's like slow and steady wins the race, achieving ambition, drive, stamina. And, but then it has the tail of a dolphin. And so Capricorn energy it's very, very spiritual. So it can simultaneously climb to the highest mountains where like lots of monasteries are. There's lots of access to spiritual realms in the mountains. And it can also swim down to the deepest depths, which is where there's a lot of hidden mysteries down there. So if you have a Capricorn moon, it's really important for you to have things that you can manage, you know, where it's like, so for example, you know, when I was working at this massage practice and I was the office manager, my job was to make sure to manage things, you know. Oh good, this is your moon. So my job was to manage things. So I had to make sure that we never ran out of anything. And so there was a little notebook next to the desk. And so I had to write down when we're like halfway out of toilet paper, halfway out of Windex, you know, buy toilet paper, buy Windex. And so then the owner would go and buy those things. But it was like, so finding something that you can manage, whether it's your home, just like managing your home, organizing systems. This is another key part for Capricorn, is like making up systems, recognizing how things work for you, and then fabricating systems and being like, this is how this works, and making rules for yourself, even if this is like personal rules. And so when someone with a Capricorn moon is in their shadow phase and needs to do self-care work, they will express situations where it's like they're domineering, right? They're tyrannical, they're over controlling, they're constricting. It's like, no, 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 no. And so or you can feel depressed, right? That like that Saturnian energy is like constricting so much that you can feel depressed. So then how do you get out of that? What do you do? How do you take care of yourself? You're like, okay, what can I like create systems? What can I build a foundation for? How can I like organize my life in a way where I have certain kind of like rules of engagement, where it's like, when this happens, I do this, and when this happens, I don't do that, or if this happens, I don't do that. So learning about strategy, finding things that you can manage and organize, lots of different things, and really like any kind of like sovereignty work, because Saturn is also all about our authority and our sovereignty. So really looking into your life, any places where you're giving your sovereignty away. Okay, so Aquarius moons. Okay, so Aquarius moons, one of my favorites. Aquarius moon, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Aquarius is the archetype of the rebel and the revolutionary, the innovator, the mad scientist, the humanitarian, like the starseed frequency, where it's like, I don't fit in, but I want to help the humans. That's a real Aquarius energy. And so if you have an Aquarius moon, it is important for you to get your freak on. It is important for you to learn about aliens. It is important for you to learn about esoteric stuff. It's important for you to study astrology. Anything that has been classified as weird, too far out there, esoteric, or woo-woo, or whatever, that is your jam. Like, do that. Give yourself full permission to get weird. Maybe you need to dye your hair. Like, you know, maybe you need to shave one side of your head. It's like, whatever you need to do to get weird, do that. So in its shadow phase, if you're not doing that for yourself and you have an Aquarius moon or a bunch of Aquarius energy in your chart, you can feel alienated. You can feel isolated. You can feel alone, because that energy of the rebel and of the revolutionary contains within it the archetype of not fitting in, right? It's like, in order to innovate and find new ways of doing things, you can't fit into the status quo. You just don't. And that's okay. And so it's kind of like, if you start feeling alienated, you start feeling ostracized, you start feeling like no one wants to hang out with you, go watch Ancient Aliens. You know, it's like learn about the pyramids or whatever. It's like, get weird. That is what will heal you. That is what will help you to feel safe in your body. And then you'll be like, whatever, I don't care. Like, I'm fine being my weird self out here. Okay, so Pisces. Coming to the end. Pisces moon. Okay, so Pisces ruled by Neptune. Pisces in its illuminated state is spiritual access, like access to the higher light realms. It's the dream state, it's the meditative state, it's the visionary state, visionary artwork. It's anything that involves artwork, because that's like channeling through the muse. It's channeling, it's writing light language, it's doing sound healing. It's so many things. In its shadow, this is so important. In its shadow, Pisces is addiction. It's dissociation. It's disconnection. It's numbing. And where it's like, so if you have a Pisces moon and you find yourself doing online shopping late at night in order to just kind of chill out and calm down, maybe you should turn on some sound healing music and meditate. Like, you can easily flip from shadow to illumination. And so it's like, if there's any kind of addiction going on, you know, any kind of dissociation, that's the shadow of Pisces. And so the invitation is to get spiritual, to do your meditation practice, to make art, to be in that channeling flow state. So that is, we went through all the signs, we did the thing. So let me see if there was any questions. I'm loving all of your comments so much. Let's see. Makes so much sense. It takes a whole lot of intimate connection before you're ready to show your fire. Right? That's a fire sign, moon sign. Makes so much sense. It's been a deep journey letting your priestess self out into the world. Yes, Virgo Moon. I'm so glad you love the way I explained this. Okay, we said yes, it would be saved. The live is going to be saved. I'm going to turn this into my Insta TV. I know. It's so fucking true. Standing in your way with your critical self behavior. So now you know what you can do. Now you know what you can do with your Virgo energy. Find the patterns, connect to the overarching pattern of everything, how it's all connected. Yes, I love this. So many people's family members are connected to these different signs. Yes, you've had to stop putting your other needs before yourself. Yes, so good. Awesome. Okay, so I actually have no idea how much time we have left. I'm gonna be here for an hour until it kicks me off, so we'll see. I feel like we might have 10-ish minutes. So this is going to be super quick. Okay, but first I have something very important I need to tell you. So all of this information that I'm sharing with you here for free today is just like skimming the surface of my Astro Empowerment 6-month astrology immersion. Yes, you're totally going to be able to see the replay, and you're in the class already. So you get the preview, and then you get to do the deep dive in the Astro Empowerment class. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to be saving this and turning it into my Insta TV. Okay, so Astro Empowerment is open for enrollment now. It's open now, it's open now, it's open now. And it will not be open. I'm glad you're hungry. It will not be open this time tomorrow, okay? So there's less than 24 hours left for you to join us for the Astro Empowerment 6-month deep dive immersion into all things astrology. There are several people, as you can see here, who are already enrolled. We go through everything. We go through all of the signs in great detail. We go through all of the planets, and it's all broken up into modules. So you get one module every 2 weeks. It's not actually every 2 weeks. You get one module. So you get 2 modules per month. Sometimes there's 2 weeks in between, sometimes there's 3 weeks in between, just depending on the cycles. And so you have plenty of time to digest all of the information, because astrology is not something that you can just like look at and get. It's something that you have to meditate with. It's a contemplative practice. It has to become embodied in you, right? So you guys just saw me like rattle out all of this information, all this material on the functions of the moon sign, how it works, how it can be used to your benefit, all of the different signs. I teach you how to access all of this information, and then you have all this time in between each of the modules to be able to integrate it, to be able to go into your life and be like, I feel like that person is a Virgo Moon. Are you a Virgo Moon? I feel like that person might be Leo rising. Are you a Leo rising? And then you ask your partner if you can like look at their chart, and you're like, what? It makes so much sense now. And you also learn about how to interpret the astrological weather. So, and I just think this is so important, because there are a lot of people who are trying to get astrological information on the internet, and they're just watching YouTube videos or something like that, and they're listening to whatever their sun sign is. This is the thing, you guys. Most of the astrology that's out there, there is a trend now in YouTube videos specifically for when they do, like, you know, you're gonna watch your forecast for the month, and you're watching your sun sign, and they're talking about this planet is going to be in this house, and Saturn and Pluto are going to be coming together in the area of relationships for you. And so if you are a Leo sun sign and your sun is not in your first house, and you are actually a Pisces rising, that information about Saturn and Pluto affecting your relationship house is incorrect. It's not correct, because it's not going to be, if you're a Leo rising, then that is going to be happening in a totally different house than if you're a Pisces rising, right? If you go back and watch the free class we did on rising signs, you'll see that your rising sign determines where all of the planets fall into your chart. And so, you know, like for this person who it's like they're they're a Gemini rising, and so the big event that is kicking off 2020 is that there's this Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and so that is going to be happening for this person in their 8th house, which is, you know, all about Scorpio, and we won't talk about what all that is right now. But if you were a Gemini sun, and the sun was not in your first house, if you're a Gemini sun and you're listening to forecasts that are for Gemini, and they're telling you that this stuff is going to be happening in your 8th house, but you are actually a Libra rising, it's going to be in a completely different area of your life. So that is why I'm so passionate about educating you guys on how to read your own charts and how to check what you're hearing out there in the world with what is actually happening in your chart, so that you're not just drinking down the information that you get about astrology on the internet and thinking that it's true, because you have no way to fact check it, because you don't know how to read your own chart, because it's a language that we've not spoken. It's only been kept in the secret esoteric sects, and it's only been spoken by astrologers. This is like the church, right? It's like, for a long time, we thought that the only way that we could talk to God was to go and talk to a priest or to go to church, which is what we know now, fundamentally untrue. You know, it's like, I'm dialoguing with the universe right now. I do not need a priest. And so this is what we're all coming to. This is the universal language that we are all going to be able to speak together, to be able to understand each other. And that's the biggest thing about understanding astrology, is that when you are able to recognize the planetary and archetypal energies of the signs in your own self, and in those of the people closest to you and around you, you have so much more compassion for them, because you understand, you have a doorway into the psychological journey of their soul. And so you're not like, you're being an asshole. You're like, wow, that person is working with an unintegrated Pluto. And I have so much compassion for them as they are manipulating other people. And I know that it's actually, maybe I'll invite them to go to my astrology class with me. Or maybe I'll invite them to, go on a beach walk, and we'll talk about like deep secrets of the universe. And we'll talk about psychological aspects or attributes, because you can see the shadow frequencies activated in them, and so you know like what you could do to support them, or you could ask them if they would like to do things that you think might support them. So that is why I am beating the drum of getting as many people as possible in the door for Astro Empowerment before we go into 2020, because you guys, 2020, it's not going to be bad. It's, it's kind of like a powder keg, but in the best way, And so there's going to be a lot of rearranging. And as human beings, we oftentimes have a real aversion to change. But once we are aware of the astrological frequencies that are at hand, we can understand that Saturn, as it comes together with Pluto, as it will happen in the very beginning of January, as it will continue to happen throughout the beginning of the year, Saturn always, it is tough, it is intense, it is constrictive, it is authoritative. It's like, it can be like Big Brother, it's like controlling and constricting. But the reason that it does all of those things, because it's like a hard teacher. A hard teacher will push you, but it is because they know the growth that is possible for you. And so all of this constriction with Saturn is to get us back into our authority, to put us into our sovereignty, so we stop projecting our authority onto other people and then having to rebel against them. And so it's like Saturn is good. He really has our highest intentions in mind, because he wants us to be in our sovereignty and in our power. And the same thing for Pluto, right? And both of these together can crush foundations in your life and destroy things that are not for your highest good, that are not you in your power, that are not you in your sovereignty. And so when you know the bigger picture, and you can see the goodness that's behind all of the seemingly intense things, you can have so much more compassion for everybody and what they're going through, and you can understand that more for yourself. So we didn't get to talk about I knew it was an ambitious class to try to talk about all of the moon signs and to try and talk about how you can find long-term success in your chart. So if you want to know how to find long-term success in your life, be in your sovereignty, and empower yourself, come join us. Sign up for Astro Empowerment. The link is in my bio. The doors are closing in less than 24 hours. They will be closing tomorrow, Friday, 12/20 at 12 p.m. Pacific time. I want you guys to know how to read your chart so that you can empower yourself as you navigate this coming year. Good. Yes, so many beautiful insights. Okay, I love you guys. I love you so much. All of this is offered in the deepest prayer for your eternal empowerment. And I love you so much, and I hope to see you in the class. Doors are closing tomorrow.